Hello students, you are class 9th and yesterday I would send you the video of this lesson number 2 of civics constitutional design, and this is the second video. Yesterday I would tell you about the South African's constitution. Today I will teach you about the Indian constitution. Constitution and democracy. It is not necessary that all countries that have constitutions are democratic, but it is certain that all democratic countries will have constitution. For example, Americans gave themselves a constitution after the war of independence against Great Britain. Similarly, after French Revolution, the French people approved a democratic constitution that thus it has become a practice for all democratic countries to have a constitution, making of the Indian constitution. As in the case of South Africa, in India also the drawing up of a constitution for such a vast and diverse country has been a very difficult and complicated exercise. The difficulties faced in deciding about the constitution were on account of the following factors. Indian people had just emerged from the status of subjects to that of citizens. The country came into being through partitions on the basis of religious differences between India and Pakistan. This was a traumatic experience. There was a dilemma also on the part of rulers of princely states whether they wanted to join Indian Union or Pakistan or wanted to remain independent. The merger of these princely states with India was a difficult task. At the time of drawing up constitution, the future of the country did not appear as secure as it seems today. The Indian constitution makers had their own worries regarding the present and future of the country. What was the path of constitution? Though the difficulty explained about the task of drawing up the constitution a difficult one for the Indian constitution makers, they had one advantage in the sense of unlike South Africa, they did not have to create consensus about what a democratic constitution should look like. Much of the consensus had enrolled during the freedom struggle. Our national movement was not merely a freedom movement but also a struggle to transform Indian society and politics. It, in spite of the difference of opinion among Indian leaders regarding the part India should always, after independence, some basic common principles had come to be accepted by everyone. In fact, way back in 1928, Motilal Nehru and 8 other Congress leaders had prepared a draft for the future Constitution of India. In the Karachi session of Indian National Congress in 1931, a special resolution was passed regarding the basic nature of Indian Constitution. Both these documents formed the basis of future constitution in India, having the following features: inclusion of universal adult franchise, right to freedom or right to equality, protecting the right of minorities. The basic values were accepted by the old leaders much before the constituent assemblies meet to deliberate or different provisions of the constitution in India due to their familiarity with political institutions during the colonial rule. Constitution makers very easily reached to an agreement regarding the institutional design. The election for provincial legislature and ministers were held in 1937 all over British India. British rulers had given voting rights to a very few, and the legislature were also very weak. But through these elections, Indians had gained experience of elections. Thus, the system that was developed was not fully democratic, but the experience gained by the Indians in the working of legislative institutions proved quite useful in setting up its own institutions. This was probably the reason why Indian constitution adopted many institutional details and procedures from colonial laws like Government of India Act 1935. The long years of thinking, the deliberation and the framework of Indian constitution had helped Indian leaders in gaining confidence to learn from other countries, but at their own terms. Indian leaders were also inspired by the following points: the ideas of French Revolution, the practice of parliamentary democracy in Britain, Bill of Rights in USA, the socialist revolution in Soviet Union. All these factors contributed in the making of Indian constitution, but before deciding to incorporate these features, the merits, demerits of these features were thoroughly discussed. This was the making of institution, and in the next video, the rest part of this lesson would be sent by me to you. Thank you. You should also watch the video compulsorily. This is the end of the video. Okay, thank you.